All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Brown University Online MPH webinar. We're really excited for the opportunity that we have to meet Online MPH faculty today. I'll introduce you to them in a little bit. My name is Sparky Mortimer. I'll be moderating today's conversation. So this is a high-level overview of what we want to talk about today. Again, we'll have a brief panel interview with Online MPH faculty, get to know them a little bit better, and especially as it relates to the program and the classes that they teach, and just getting to know them as people as well. We'll also do a quick overview of the Online MPH and what makes it unique. You'll notice along the bottom that we've got that final application deadline for our fall 2024 cohort is June 15th. So we'll go over a quick application checklist, make sure that everything's on the up and up as you finalize your application, and then we'll have a chance for a Q&A at the end. So use the Q&A icon on your screen. Go ahead and click or tap that, and then submit your question. You're welcome to do that at any time during today's proceedings. You don't have to wait for the Q&A portion to submit a question. Just let us know as you go through what is on your mind, and we'll address them there in that Q&A. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to our presenters today. We've got a handful of folks here from the Brown side that we're excited to have visit with you today. So Jen, I'll start with you and give you a chance to just introduce yourself, and then we can keep going right on down the line. So Jen, I'll start with you.
Sure. I'm Jen Nazarino. I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Innovation over at the School of Professional Studies. I'm also a faculty member over at the School of Public Health, and I've been at Brown for over 9 years.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks so much, Jen. Nithya, we'll turn the time over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nithya Ramesh. I'm a dentist, and I'm going to be the incoming academic director for the Online MPH program at Brown University.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Nithya. We got other faculty members to introduce. First, we're going to highlight Kim Pulaski, who's an enrollment coach. So Kim, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Kim Pulaski, as Sparky mentioned, and I've been with Brown for a little over 2 years at this point. But as an enrollment coach, my job is really just to get you the information you're looking for, to make sure we address your questions and make sure that this is overall a great fit for you and your goals. And so it is my pleasure being here today.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much, Kim. All right, and we've got a couple other faculty members here. Kara, how about I start with you?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Kara Sammartino. I'm one of the faculty members for the Online MPH. I currently teach the course using survey and qualitative methods to make public health decisions, and I've been a part of the Leadership 1 course. I've been teaching in this program for the past year, but I've been teaching an on-ground Brown program since 2010, so 14 years. So welcome.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks so much, Kara. All right, Michael, turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Michael Harvey. I'm in the Department of Health Services Policy and Practice in the School of Public Health. Like Dr. Sammartino, I teach a bit on campus, the Health Policy and Equity course, and I teach 2 online, the Comparative Healthcare Systems course and the Health Policy and Systems course. I've been with Brown for a little over 2 years and really enjoy being in the online environment.
All right, right on. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so obviously everybody's had the chance to introduce themselves now, so let's get to know each other a little bit better, especially our Online MPH faculty members. So we got a few warm-up questions to generate some discussion before we get to the questions from our attendees. So let's just kind of start. Tell us about your journey. I think we've gotten a little bit as you did those brief introductions of yourselves, but yeah, just kind of tell us about your journey through graduate school and how you've arrived here at the Brown School of Public Health. So we'll just go in the order that we have here on the screen. So Kara, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit more about your journey and what's brought you to this point.
Sure. So I completed my MSPH down at Emory University in Health Services Research. So at the time I was really interested in, learning about methods that would help us evaluate access and utilization of various services. When I finished there, I actually came up to Brown, I should say. I said came back because I'm a native Rhode Islander. So I trained in their Health Services Policy and Practice program. So I finished my PhD in 2016. I focused on, public finance and various health policy and healthcare systems courses. And basically, I haven't left. I love the Brown environment. I love the students so much. The courses in this new Online MPH has been such a great program for bringing in, adult learners or adults who have been in the workforce for a long time. So I love it here. It's been, like I said, 14 years, so great environment to learn in and to collaborate with all these wonderful other faculty members.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Kara. All right, Jen, tell us a little bit more about your story.
Sure. So I came to Brown as a postdoc. I was a T32 presidential diversity postdoc, and that was back in 2016, I believe. And then I just never left. I became a faculty member at the School of Public Health and started teaching qualitative research methods, started teaching intersectionality, social determinants of health, structural determinants of health. And just what really, what I love about Brown and particularly the School of Public Health is that my interest and passion for immigrant health, looking at issues related to healthcare workers that are from a minoritized background and how they contribute to our healthcare systems, that was embraced. Like the School of Public Health embraced the research I care about, embraced the populations that I advocate for, and then just, even said, what do you want to teach? What are you interested in? And then let me do it. And I love that about Brown, just being as inclusive and wanting to be open to new ways of thinking, bringing new thought into the School of Public Health. And so I started teaching in person, and I also love the online spaces because of the flexibility for the graduate students, the flexibility for me. And it's just a really warm environment. And I really love my colleagues. I really appreciate just everyone that it just doesn't feel siloed. I feel like we really all try to work together. We really do care about our students and make sure that they have a really, just a really great time at Brown, but also very like where they can explore who they are and how they connect to public health. So I really just always felt like it was a home for me. So that's what has kept me here for a long time. So I'll turn it over to Mike.
Hey everyone. Yeah, so I was an English major. I wasn't someone who was really into public health. English major as an undergrad. I read the work of, now the unfortunately late Paul Farmer about kind of health disparities globally and in the United States as well. And that really, lit a passion for me for thinking about and exploring and researching and teaching about public health and about health equity and health inequities. I did an MPH, kind of got me to do an MPH at Penn. I was in the Philadelphia area at the time, and when I finished, I kind of wanted to keep going and continue to be involved in those debates and discussions and research that was happening in journals that I was reading. So I went to do a doctorate in public health at Berkeley. And I've taught in a few different institutional environments before landing here at Brown. And I'll just echo what others have said, that it's been a really rich environment for me. We attract really interesting students who just bring a lot of really interesting and important perspectives, diverse perspectives to the classroom. I learn a ton from the students who are enrolled in the OMPH program, and students learn a ton from each other. So it's a really like great place to be learning public health, to be thinking about the next, where we're going in terms of public health. And I just think it's a wonderful place to train. So, so that's a little bit about my story, but like others said, I've really enjoyed being here at Brown and particularly being involved with the OMPH program.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. All right, Nithya, how about you?
Sure. Yeah, so I grew up and I went to dental school in India. And when I was practicing, I realized that, there's a concept that we talk about in public health called the upstream and downstream approach, where, we tend to see people in the clinic who are all people who have sort of fallen over the cliff of prevention, and you are now treating them when they're downstream. And I decided that I didn't want to be treating it one cavity at a time. I really wanted to build a block to prevent people from falling over the cliff. And that's what really brought me to public health. I got my master's in public health from Brown University. I'm an alum of the in-person program when they offered a generalist track in the in-person program, because at the time I was not sure which area of public health I wanted to go towards, and the generalist education sounded perfect to me. From there, while I was there, I also worked at the Rhode Island State Department of Health, and then I went on to Dartmouth, where I helped launch their hybrid MPH program. And then I realized I sort of missed that connection to oral health research. So I went to Harvard, I got a residency, I completed a residency in dental public health, and I'm working towards a doctoral degree as well at the Harvard School of Dental Medicine. And, I've been fortunate to have been a part of 3 Ivies, and I have to say that my favorite one is Brown, just because of how warm everybody is here and how supportive the culture is. And I'm really happy to be back. So when we were launching this online MPH program, I know Dr. Nazarino and I, we were really here at the beginning of the launch of this program. And when Dean Jha talked about launching this program and making it an accessible program for people, not just in Rhode Island, but really around the world, everybody should be able to have access to public health education. And we should be focusing on removing the barrier of location. So that was really the impetus for this program. And I'm very fortunate to be working with this incredible team and working at Brown.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Nithya. All right. So now that we've talked a little bit more about our journeys, and I think this has come out as you're providing answers to the first question, just tell us a little bit more about the passion behind the subject that you teach and just what gets you excited about public health and how you share that with other folks. So Kara, we'll go back to you. Tell us a little bit more about the passion, what drives you.
Sure. So I think what really drives me is getting other people excited about public health. So when I got into public health about 20 years ago, so 2005 or 2006, it really wasn't talked about the undergrad level. We knew it was a thing, but if you wanted to do health, you would go be a pre-med and go, be a doctor. I just get so excited to teach. I love mentoring students. I love helping them find their passion. I teach a lot. So, on average during a semester, I teach 3-4 classes just because I love to make a connection with the students. Sorry, the garbage truck just pulled up behind me. That's about right. But I love so much about introducing students to the concept of data and how these data can actually help make have real world implications in terms of policy implementation, policy development, and especially, when you're thinking about a mixed methods approach. So I teach a qualitative research class, but I'm also a quantitatively trained researcher as well. So understanding how these data actually complement each other and, and how we build those future public health leaders is really important. So yeah, I love teaching. I love mentoring, and it's why I choose to teach every single day.
Very good. Sounds great. All right, Jen, how about you?
I love that, Kara, everything you just said. I love teaching too, and I love students. That keeps me, I love the idealism. I love students who want to solve problems, that want to really just, want to learn. And particularly, I get passionate about, and I make sure what got me into public health was that, there were certain readings in public health, like around structural social determinants of health and health inequity, that I finally it was going beyond this individualistic way of thinking about health and healthcare, going beyond thinking about individualistic blaming of someone's health outcomes. And when I really gravitated to thinking about the intersection of gender and race and class and immigration and history, and that really sparked something in me that was like, wow, I really appreciate this type of literature and this type of research. And so my passion has always been to make sure in every syllabus I write is that populations feel like students would feel to see themselves in the syllabus, to see themselves in my courses that I teach, that they can read an article about their particular, maybe racial ethnic background or the type of, the country they're from, and want them to feel like, I see you. And I want you to feel that you can talk about, your history, what you've gone through. And so that really sparked something. Someone did that for me. One of my faculty, when I was a graduate student, did that for me. And I've always wanted to do that for others. And then in a way for, your peers to read about all the different kinds of health inequities that folks are facing. But then I'm very passionate about, okay, well, let's also talk about not just root causes, which is so critical and important, but what are some of the solutions that are already happening in the community and making sure the community is part of our courses. I definitely often really try to bring the community leaders into my class to really speak about the work that they've been doing on the ground that often is missed in just, if we're just focusing on academic articles. So it's just combination of the literature, research that is inclusive, but also tying in the role of the such important role that the community plays in fighting health inequities. So that's just the passion that I've always tried to bring to my class, and I've seen it modeled for me, and I just really want to continue that in the courses I continue to teach.
Great. Thanks so much, Jen. All right, Michael, where does your passion come from?
Yeah, I don't want to just echo everything Jen said, but similar motivations. My own MPH experience was, to use a metaphor used previously, it was kind of downstream. It felt like, there's a lot of individually focused interventions, very kind of behaviorally focused. And I think that's really important. Health behaviors are really important, and it's important to recognize the agency of individuals and individual agency and collective agency. But for me, I've really been drawn in my teaching and in my research to, as Dr. Nazareno was mentioning, kind of the broader social and structural environmental contexts in which people adopt certain behaviors or don't, or that impact people's health regardless of, the behaviors they adopt or don't adopt. So a lot of my courses focus on health policy, health systems, health institutions, and institutions more broadly than health, educational institutions, criminal justice institutions, and the ways that those things affect health, really regardless of the behaviors that an individual adopts. One course I teach is in comparative healthcare systems. And that's a tough one because I think so often in public health, we conflate health and healthcare. And so I try and really emphasize the importance of healthcare systems and, the equitable and effective delivery of healthcare systems and how important that is for population level health outcomes. While also not ignoring, the broader social and structural factors that also affect people's health, regardless of the healthcare system in the country where they reside. So that's a bit of a tension. I think, there's this tension between individual and societal. I think there's also this tension between healthcare and, the provision of care to people who have already become sick, and public health, which is, this much more population-focused preventive lens. And so we grapple with a lot of that in my courses. And those are some of the things that, really, light my fire. And I'll just echo what others have said, and echo some things I've already mentioned, that, the students bring so much to these discussions. We have people who are coming at these questions as, nurses and social workers and physicians, and people who are in education and in housing and in transportation, coming to all of these issues, these social determinants of health from really kind of unique perspectives that really enrich the course. And that's something that really, brings a lot of enthusiasm to me and to my teaching, knowing that, there's this great wealth of knowledge within our courses from the students themselves to really enrich the courses.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks so much, Michael. All right, Nithya, how about you? What drives you?
Sure. I think one of the downsides of being the last person going is I really want to echo what all of the people before me have said, and I will probably allude to some of the things they've said as well. So I helped with the development of the social determinants of health course taught by Dr. Nazareno, and I might teach it at some point in this program. And I completely agree that the places we live, work, play, eat, they all have an impact on our health. It's not just genetics. It's not just your health behaviors, but the social determinants of health that really impact your healthcare. And those are things that we can control in public health. And those are the things that we're hoping to impact through our public health work. And another key focus for me, due to my background in dentistry, is I really want to think about oral health and how that plays into your overall health. And being a global health practitioner myself, I I think when you say passion, for me, it's about, I don't like the model of flying in and doing mission-based service. I like to empower the communities that I am helping. So even for my doctoral thesis and for my work in general, really, I think about capacity strengthening. I won't say capacity building, I really call it capacity strengthening, where I think that we need to strengthen the communities that we're hoping to impact to then be able to sustain the work that we're hoping to bring about there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the passion behind this.
Okay. Very good. Thank you all so much for your perspective. Okay, so obviously we've talked about a lot about the program. We know that there's more to each of us than just the public health side, although that's a big part of what we do. So let's talk guilty pleasure. We were talking a little bit about this in kind of the warm up before we let everybody in. But just tell us a little bit more about yourself and just something that you enjoy. That guilty pleasure could be a show, it could be a meal, just whatever it is. So Kara, I'll start back with you again. What's that guilty pleasure that you got?
Sure. Oh God, when it comes to food, I was saying in the earlier that I love all food. But really pizza. I could eat pizza 24/7 nonstop. It's a problem actually. And when looking thinking about a guilty pleasure for a TV show, I was saying I think I'm on the 6th iteration of watching the Gilmore Girls again, but also The Bear I'm obsessed with. It goes back to my obsession with food. So those two seem to really sum me up pretty good.
Okay, what do you have a fave pizza, or is it like all pizza's good no matter what? Or
Not gonna lie, I think I make one of the best pizzas. I know it's challenged now that I've said that. If you're in Rhode Island, just come over. But there's a spot by me called Pasquale's where the owner's from Naples. He had, the oven flown in. It is spectacular. So yeah,
fantastic.
but I'll eat anything. I'd eat Elio's if you put it in front of me.
Awesome. All right, Jen, how about you?
So anything sweet, like cupcakes. Oh, and I also like boba drinks. I don't know, with the pearls, like I can drink boba all day, breakfast for, dinner. I love boba. In terms of shows, I will say I am all about just, when those home decor, I'm in the process of decorating my home. So like, and remodeling. So anything that just is before and after, like, remodeling furniture, any of that stuff, I really get into. And then with my kids, they really like those cooking shows, like anything that like, I think it's the cake show they love. And it's like, you have to decide which is real and which is not the cake. And so my kids love that. But anything like, any kind of show that like there's a competition or before and after, I always love that. So that's what I'm really into right now.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, my wife just discovered Is It Cake? And
Is It Cake? That's it.
Has already gone through all the seasons already. So,
I can binge that with my kids all day. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. All right, Michael, how about you?
I really didn't know what I was going to talk about until about 30 seconds ago when Dr. Nazareno was talking about doing things with kids. And I realized my guilty pleasure, which is they've just gotten into video games. So they play like Zelda and like Kirby and like all these games on Nintendo. And play, I played video games a long time ago, when I was younger, but having that opportunity and, pretend that I'm like taking care of them, but actually, really just playing video games. That's a good guilty pleasure. The one I was going to say before I thought of that one was like just expensive, way too expensive iced coffee. 7 Stars Bakery in Providence is really wonderful, and I'm not like a connoisseur about anything really. Like I'll eat anything. I don't have great taste, but when it comes to iced coffee, I am particular. And the iced coffee at 7 Stars Bakery, when you visit Providence, is quite good. So that's my way too expensive coffee guilty pleasure.
So how do you take it, or what is it about that place that makes it like above the rest?
I don't know. Unfortunately, I do think there is a relationship between the cost of iced coffee and how it tastes. It's like one of those, for a lot of things, the relationship doesn't exist, but for that, I don't know how they do it, but I just take it with cream, no sugar, and it's I like it a lot.
Okay, that sounds good. How about you, Nithya?
Sure. I think, going to TV shows, I think my all-time favorite is probably The Office. I love watching bloopers from The Office. It's like whenever I'm feeling low, I just like go on YouTube, watch blooper reels from The Office, and it's so funny. But I'm not guilty about that. I think I am guilty about watching true crime stuff, though. I feel like I should not be supporting this. I should not be supporting this dramatization of horrific events. But there's something about it that I just can't look away. And like sometimes I just have like a murder podcast going or like a TV show going. And I don't know, it's just I get so engrossed in it. So I am guilty about that.
It's captivating. It's definitely
Mhm.
captivating for sure.
Yeah.
So
Latest one being Baby Reindeer. I watched that one.
that's right. Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for getting us to get to know you a little bit better. And so now we want to get to know the program a little bit better. And so Jen, Nithya, I think you're going to tag team these next couple slides, but just tell us a little bit more about the program and what makes it unique.
Yeah, I'll go first. And then Nithya, if you want to talk about this next slide. When we were thinking through developing the program, we really wanted to bring in case-based learning or just real-world cases to our courses, right? So threading cases throughout the curriculum was a top priority for us. 100% online, that means it's async, right? So you're learning on your own, but to provide flexibility, of course, but we really still want it to be high touch. So we have optional synchronous sessions, weekly synchronous sessions, where you meet with your faculty member for about an hour, hour and a half, and talk through the case study that you probably, you just read about, the articles that you had read, or the videos that you had just watched, and just have a discussion with faculty as well as your peers. And so that was something to make sure we wanted to really stay high touch, that you felt connected. And so that's something that we really wanted to make sure that was embedded into the program. In terms of leadership, we teach, just to give you some background, it is a generalist MPH, but we specifically wanted to bring 2 leadership courses, a communications course, because working with Dean Jha on thinking through this program, we realized we needed to build leadership skills, that, COVID was happening and we need to get in front of that. We need to talk about it. We need to develop certain soft and hard skills around leadership, as well as communications. How do we best present the data in a way that is not just, a way to talk with our peers around it, but just like the general public? How do we make sure that we combat a lot of misinformation around public health? So that was very crucial also to bring in a communications course. And then in terms of size of the classroom, we can have courses between 20 students in the classroom to about, maybe sometimes we have students, there are over 60 students in a classroom. But if there are over 60 students in a classroom, you will have a co-instructor. So it wouldn't just be one faculty member that would be teaching that course with you, or with the faculty members. So just know that we really do care about the student to faculty ratio. And then in terms of competitively priced, I understand graduate education and master's education, it is expensive. And we really do think that it is a competitive price compared to some of our private universities peers, but also hope to think about it as an investment in you, an investment in your education, but also the networking that you will develop while you're at Brown, the faculty you'll meet, the opportunities that are available to you if you come to Brown.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Jen. So, and you mentioned kind of that part of the strength of the program is the diversity of thought and diversity of perspective. And so if you tell us a little bit more about that with some of these statistics we're seeing here.
Nithya, do you want to take this?
Sure. Yeah. So we pride ourselves on doing holistic reviews, which means that we don't just look at your GPAs or your work experience and stuff, though we do have the minimum 2 years of work experience requirement, but we are flexible in terms of what we consider in our applications. And we like to see our students as a whole, as a sum total of all of their experiences and not just their grades. And I'm happy that we have about 52% of our students are students of color, and 34% are from historically underrepresented groups. A majority of our students are between the age ranges of 21 to 39, but we do have a good number of people who are over the age of 40. We do have a lot more women in our program, and we have 5% of our students are from a military background. 72% of our students receive a merit-based scholarship. We do try to do our best to provide them to you. About 60% of our students are first gen, and 20% of them have junior college experience. In terms of work experience, we have, like I said, a minimum requirement of 2 years of work experience, and about 70% of our students have anywhere between 2 to 9 years of work experience, while 31% of them have 10 or more years of work experience. So that really enriches the classroom discussions. And I think, like one of the faculty members mentioned previously, I think you learn a lot from not just your faculty and your courses, but from the peer group discussions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And bringing so much of that to bear. And again, that's reflected too in, kind of where students are around the world. Again, the majority are in the United States, but from different areas of the country, as well as, international students from different areas. And so I can open this up to anybody on the faculty. How does that, people's various experiences and coming together and sharing their perspectives, how does that enrich that classroom instruction? As mentioned, not only are these students learning from you, but they're learning from their peers as well and sharing what it is, sharing their perspectives on it. How do you feel that enriches what it is you teach? I'll open it up to anybody who wants to share.
I can go first. So just looking at this slide, we're very proud to be able to bring students from around the country and around the world. We have students from over 30 different states right now that are joining us, over 8 different countries. And the conversations that the synchronous sessions invoke is just, that is where learning happens. That is where empathy happens. That is where compassion happens. In the social determinants of health course, we talk about the health inequities that, a particular region is going through. And then, somebody from another country like, well, actually I can relate to that. Or, this is what also we're going through, or these are the issues we're facing. And then it just creates a dialogue that would not otherwise happen, that would not have otherwise been able to be created unless for this online MPH program, where these conversations are made, where collegial relationships are made, friendships are made, and this sense of, I see you, in the work, and how do we work together? How do we think through the assignments together? Maybe we should have a study group together. Maybe we can, those kind of connections that I think are just, it's wonderful to hear from our graduate students about how they've made lifelong friendships through the sync sessions, through talking through and having dialogue around articles they've read, where they can connect with each other or learn something that they can't unsee once they've learned it. And so that's really something I think we really take pride in, is being able to attract students from around the country, around the world, to have conversations, to build friendships that hopefully will lead to, action and change in public health.
Fantastic. Any other thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, in both of my courses, we're looking at comparative healthcare systems around the world. So it's just wonderful to get people talking about their country's healthcare system. Or if you're in the United States, states play a big role in shaping access to healthcare. So that's really an interesting conversation as well that happens, that benefits from the kind of geographical diversity. And then, we're also looking at policy solutions to public health problems. And there's a lot to be learned in the US and from different states in the US, but there's a lot more to be learned globally. And it's wonderful when students can bring in, policy solutions that have worked elsewhere to think about it in another geographical context. So certainly it's enriched my courses in a number of different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Thanks so much for all that. Okay, so before we get into the Q&A, just want to do a quick reminder. Like we said, that final application deadline for our fall 2024 cohort is June 15th. So Kim, I'm going to turn the time over to you just to do a quick refresher on application checklist, talk through some of the why behind these requirements and how you as an enrollment coach can help support people as they finish up the process. So Kim, take it away.
All right, thank you. Well, I'm just going to say what an amazing group of faculty and staff, and holy smokes, I'm so proud to be associated with this program. So bare bones, you need to have your bachelor's degree, right? Like that's obviously important as a prerequisite. And then one of the other prerequisites that Nithya had spoken of is everybody needs to have 2 years of professional work experience. And so that's something I get a lot of questions about that. I definitely would recommend being able to talk with you directly, either myself or my partner, Roseanne. We both work with this particular program. And so we are a, dare I say, invaluable resource for your unique situations. So definitely reach out to us. We're doing our best to get in contact with you, whether it's through email or text or phone calls, but we're here to support you and we're here to help you with your application. So everybody's situation is a little bit different and distinct and unique. So along with the 2 years, of course, you need a resume, an updated resume or CV, whichever format you want to use. You need 3 letters of recommendation, and these can be a combination of academic and professional. In some cases, it might just be all professional. You know, if you completed your degree 10 years ago, you may not have maintained some of those academic relationships, and that's fine. Really, whatever's the most relevant and current for you, you want to pick wisely, and you want to pick people who are going to speak very loudly on your behalf and be able to express the qualities that you have that would make you a fantastic candidate for this particular program. And as a little side note, a little nugget of what I've learned is don't give them months to write these letters of recommendation. I mean, we're down to the wire at this point, to be honest, so you can't give them months, but really ideally you want people who will be able to write these within 2 weeks for you to get that done. You don't want them dragging on. I'm guessing you're going to be picking really high-powered people and people who are very busy. So the sooner they can check that off their to-do list, the better it's going to be for you as well. A personal statement. This is really a chance where you get to show the committee a little bit more yourself, your passion for public health. Please keep in mind, as you have probably witnessed already, these are very passionate people for public health and they want like-minded folks in the programs. So you want to be able to express yourself to them. Transcripts. So I know it says official transcripts here. Happily, I can say you can actually submit your application with unofficial copies of your transcripts, but you do have to have transcripts from anywhere that you've studied. And if you are accepted into this program, then you will at that point be required to provide official transcripts, okay? But unofficials are fine for the review process. Let me see what else. I want to jump down just a moment here. So for international applicants, you may need to provide a proficiency exam, an English proficiency exam. Again, that's something we can talk through about your unique situation. And then it does mention a WEST transcript evaluation. We also accept evaluations from SpanTran and ECE. So you have your choice of 3 companies to use with us. So going back up just a little bit, the application fee, it's $100. There are some opportunities to get that application fee waived. Again, talk to me or Roseanne. We'll be happy to help guide you in that. And as a little perk for anyone who is interested in fall of 24, okay, keep in mind, you've got 3 weeks, right? So June 15th is your final deadline to get this submitted. The Dean's Scholarship is out there right now. It's a 20% scholarship and it's going to be awarded to anyone who's accepted into the fall 24 start date. So this is a phenomenal motivation. I know Nithya highlighted the fact that they give out, scholarships to about 72% of all applicants or all accepted applicants. That's incredible. But this is sort of a no-brainer, 20% Dean's Scholarship. Let us help you with that. That saves you a ton of money, as you can tell. So again, we're here. Let us help you. We'll give you all the specifics that are unique to you and your situation.
Fantastic. Great reminders, Kim. Really appreciate that. All right, so we've got about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. And so let's dive into our live Q&A. If you joined us a little bit late, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and use the Q&A icon on your screen, click or tap that, and then type in your question. I see we've had a good amount of questions already, and that thankfully, some of our helpers, including Emily on the, excuse me, including Emily on the admissions team, as well as another helper on the admissions team. Sorry, I'm blanking, Michelle. Sorry about that, Michelle. We've had some good answers already. And so let's just dig in and tap into some more of these questions. We'll go until the top of the hour until we run out of questions. So I see one from Christy here. Interested in hearing about the panel's perspectives on an emerging topic in public health, food supply chain management and security. So interested to get a perspective on that. Christy looks like in the Boston area, so close enough to be around campus. So, if she's able to access, visit campus, that sort of a thing. So bit of a two-parter. Let's start with that first one about food supply chain management and security. How might that fit into, some of this case-based learning that we talk about in the program? So I'll just open that up to the floor.
That's a good question. So food supply chain, could you elaborate on that? I'm envisioning we have food deserts around the country. We have food, issues around just access to not just any kind of food, but just healthier food, or like food that is, that is more nutritious. We definitely talk about, when we talk about geographic locations, we talk about areas that are more rural, areas that don't have access. We also bring in community partners that can talk about what they're doing to help bridge that. But that's when I think about food, I think about the food deserts that we're still witnessing around the country, but also just globally. And the second question, Sparky, was what was that about?
Yeah, so Christy lives in Boston, and so she's close enough to be able to come to campus if she wanted. And so talk about possibilities there.
So yes, if you were accepted and you want to come to Brown, and you are a Brown University student, you can come to the university, get your student ID. You have access to our libraries, access to, the campus and all the events that go on. We also are very, though, invested in making sure that events are also virtually available to those students that just can't, for whatever reason, physically come to Brown. But just know that once you're a Brown University student, you have access to the campus. We'd love for you to visit us in the School of Public Health as well. We do have graduate students, representatives that can even give you tours of the campus.
Okay.
And when I think about this term, I'm thinking about, I think about all the things that Dr. Nazareno mentioned. I'm also thinking about, H5N1, and thinking about, the kind of the relationship between food systems and animal health and the people who work with animals, and the way that can facilitate the spread of novel viruses. And all that's to say that, there's a ton of people at Brown working on these topics, and, they might come up in courses here and there, but like Dr. Nazareno said, you're a student, you'd be a student here. You can reach out to those people who are doing work in these areas, and kind of be in conversation with them. There's also a lot of places in the courses where students can kind of run with ideas. And, if that's a topic that's really interesting to you, there will be places throughout the curriculum where you can kind of go more in depth into those topics. We also have a practicum experience where students use it to get more experience in an area that they want to learn more about. So regardless of the topic, there are ways of kind of getting involved with it, even if it's not, even if we don't necessarily have a course on food supply chain management. There's ways of learning more and engaging more in those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And that actually, I think that's a nice segue into another question that I see talking about. How does the program prioritize collaboration with other health fields and professionals? Obviously, you all are living in this world of public health. You understand how incredibly collaborative it is. So just talk about how this program helps grow those collaboration skills between, different fields of health and the professionals that work therein. So I'll just open it up again to the floor.
So in the School of Public Health, we definitely have biostatisticians, epidemiologists, folks that are focused on global health. We work with the School of Medicine. We work with and not just like healthcare or health. We talk about School of Public Health, School of Medicine, but for me, I also work alongside the Center for the Study of Race and Ethnicity in America. I'm also a faculty fellow for first-gen undocumented immigrant students. And like really, I think, I really try to bring in the social aspect of healthcare, and really talking about that and bring that into the work and bring that into our program. We work, we have certain modules on climate change and we have some really great climate change scholars at Brown. So again, we pride ourselves at Brown University for really being very interdisciplinary. We really pride ourselves in not being siloed, that if a graduate student is interested in a researcher's expertise and work, like for example, I just introduced one of our graduate students that is a physician to one of the leading faculty focused on data science and AI, and this graduate student wants to do their practicum focused on the intersection of healthcare and AI. So like those are opportunities that's what I would really want to stress out, is that we can connect you to these faculty members. We can make those introductions, and there are possibilities that could lead to you doing either research with them or doing a practicum with them. So just to point out again, to underscore, we really focus not on being siloed, but being very interdisciplinary.
Fantastic. Any other perspectives on that from our panel?
Well, this is not really specifically related to that, but I did see another question in the chat that I wanted to address. So as online MPH students, you are just the same as any other student at Brown. So you are welcome to come to campus. You're welcome to attend speaker sessions, events, anything that's happening on campus, including commencement. Actually, next weekend, we have this huge pomp and circumstance commencement ceremony and all of the events that are happening around it. So you'll be welcome to attend those as students. You'll also get your ID card. So when you're a student and you're not able to come to campus, you get a virtual ID. But if you're able to come to campus and you can pick up a physical ID, you can use that to swipe into all of the Brown libraries and use the resources that are available at Brown. So I just wanted to highlight that as well.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks so much, Nithya. So this is kind of a tangential to that sense of collaboration. Are there possibilities for dual degree programs such as a MPH MBA or MPH MS? That's a question from Naya. What possibilities are there?
So at this moment, we are not offering dual degree programs. There may be some options to do certificate programs, but not dual degrees at the moment.
Okay.
Or Nithya, like they can separately do it, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, so you can apply. We do have the EMBA that is the School of Professional Studies that you can also apply to. But in terms of it taking courses simultaneously and it being formally integrated, no, we don't have a dual degree like an MPH MBA program at this time.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much. Kim, I think this question is going to go your way from Sonia. I'm a U.S. citizen, but my bachelor's degree is from India. I'm in the process of getting WES evaluations. Will I have to do English proficiency? If you were chatting with Sonia, what would you tell her?
So Sonia, if you studied in English, if your school taught in English, there may be an option to get a waiver for that English proficiency exam. But very likely you will end up needing to either do the TOEFL or the IELTS. And there's certain scores that you have to get for both of those to be accepted by the committee. Okay.
All right. Good to know. Thanks, Kim. Kim, another one for you. This is from Francisco. I'm in the process of getting my MD and ECFMG evaluate transcripts and degrees through EPIC. I know you didn't mention EPIC, but would those transcripts, anything work done through EPIC, would that still be considered?
So hi, Francisco. I think you and I have communicated a few times, which is great. No, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jen or Nithya, but the TOEFL or the IELTS, I've asked about this before, And I believe those are the only two English proficiency exams that would be accepted. Am I correct?
That's my understanding as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've reached out to Matt Wallace and he assured me those were the only two. So.
All right. Okay. Good to know. Thanks for that. Nithya, I know you're typing an answer to Jasmine, but I'll open up to the rest of the panel as well. Are there ways to connect with alumni? I'm in New York City, appreciate talking to alumni or even current students willing to share their experience. I know we've had webinars before where we've had current students on board and join us here. What connection opportunities are there? I know this is still a fairly new program. The first cohort is graduating this summer. We were just talking about that right before that, but whether it's alumni or current students, what sort of networking opportunities are available for folks?
Sure. Yeah, we are working on regional clusters, and we're happy to connect you to students who are some of our current students are serving as program ambassadors. Their information can be found on the School of Public Health website, or if you email us, Emily can put our email in the chat. If you email our admissions email, we are happy to talk to you directly, or we can connect you to our current students as well. So just feel free to email us.
All right. Fantastic. Thanks so much. I got a question from Isabel. We've talked a lot about the program. Her question is about time to complete. So, working part-time and then taking classes and whatnot. What are those kind of degree completion, time to completion options that are available for folks depending on the course that they're taking and maintaining that balance with everything else they have going on?
Sure, I can answer this one because I think I answered a similar question, but I can go into it in a little more depth. So this program, the standard course load is that you take 2 courses every term. There are 6 terms and a total of 12 courses. And on average, you spend between 12 to 15 hours each week per course. So that would mean if you're taking 2 classes, you'll spend anywhere between 24 to 30 hours a week. And that includes attending your optional but highly recommended synchronous session where you get the opportunity to meet with the faculty and your cohort mates and engage in very meaningful, fruitful discussions. It's also the time spent watching the lecture recordings and videos and readings, doing all of that, doing your assignments. So all of that built in, it takes about 30 hours a week for 2 courses. Now you can reduce it to part-time status, and we don't hold you to one mode or the other. Like you can switch between full-time and part-time every semester. You just have to let us know before the start of the semester and to tell us what you'd like to do for that semester, and then we can adjust how you're coded on the back end. But that's to give you flexibility. Like let's say you have you have a lot of time in the summer and you want to take more courses, you can take 2 courses. But if you don't have as much time in the fall, you can just take the 1 course. We also have some fast track options in the fall and the spring. So you can take 3 or even up to 4 courses in the fall and the spring terms if you have the time.
Okay. Fantastic. So lots of options, lots of flexibility for folks there. So that's great. Seeing another question, even for international students, can you come to the campus? Yeah, if you're in the country and you want to stop by, just as Jen said earlier, you're a Brown University student, and so you're welcome there. Kim, the second part of that question is about TOEFL scores. What kind of scores are required, or just kind of what should folks expect to get as part of be feeling confident about their application?
Okay, yeah, for sure. So the TOEFL is a score of 90 or better, and the IELTS is a score of 7 or better. So obviously the way they structure them is quite different, but those are the ranges that are accepted by Brown. And just if you don't mind, I'll just piggyback off of Nithya. So in order to complete the program, I love the flexibility. And I think that is a godsend for our full-time working professionals who are juggling an awful lot of obligations. You have 5 years within which to complete all the courses and the course requirements. So just kind of tuck that in the back of your mind. But I think I answered your question directly, Sparky.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I appreciate that. And Kim, you'd mentioned that Dean Scholarship. I just saw a question come in. Does it matter if it's a part-time student, a full-time student? Is that Dean Scholarship still applicable for folks who start in fall 2024? What kind of course requirements are there for someone to get that scholarship?
there, as far as I understand, there are no like specific full-time, part-time course requirements. It's applicable to fall of 24 only at this point.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and all our scholarships are percentages. So even the merit-based ones, it doesn't matter if you go to part-time or full-time status, we'll adjust it, we'll prorate it to your tuition.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks so much. A similar question to one we had earlier about this attendee says, I'm Nigerian. My first language is English. All my classes at university were taken in only English. So again, with that kind of TOEFL, IELTS situation, Kim, I'll send this one back to you.
Okay. We have some countries that the residents of that country do not need to take a TOEFL or an IELTS. I would want to speak to you, either myself or Roseanne, speak to you a little bit more in depth about your particular situation and being taught in English. So it's hard for me to say without actually having a conversation with you, to be honest, if you'll be required to do one of the exams or if we could do a waiver for you.
Okay. Fantastic. Thanks. We're coming up to the top of the hour, but one of the things that we've gotten a lot of questions about application. How can I make my application as strong as it can be? And Jen, I know you've talked about this before, being on the committee and looking over applications.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just give just a quick spiel about how the admissions committee looks at applications and just, again, kind of that holistic view of looking at students and what makes for a strong application?
Yeah. So GPA, yes, we look at your GPA. I think Nithya mentioned that we have students that have a junior college background, and we see that as a strength. Like when you've gone to junior college, gone to a 4-year university, now wanting to, come into Brown, get your master's degree. We do look at, your upward trajectory. So, just in terms of your GPA, we do look at that. A stronger application would focus also on if you have backgrounds in math or biostatistics or statistics. So we often suggest students that don't have that background to take a Coursera course on biostats or EPI, because those are 2 foundational courses in our program. And we would like to see that you have some understanding of data and understanding how to think through data. And then also when it comes to your personal statement, I mean, yes, like obviously you're applying to public health, but why public health? How do you want to serve others? How do you want to make an impact in public health? So the more specific you are about what you want to do in the field of public health, because it's pretty broad, we really like to see that. We want to also see, well, why Brown? Why online? Why now? Tell us. We'd love to hear that. We'd love to read that. Personal statements that are really short, it makes us think, okay, you haven't spent much time, thinking through why you want to get a master's degree in public health. So just, we do really read through your personal statements. In terms of letters of rec, be very, just really think about who can really write a strong letter of rec for you. We've unfortunately seen certain letters where there's like 2 sentences, and that's unfortunate. We want to read about you. We want to read letters of rec where the writer is bragging about you, of how wonderful you are, and have taken the time to write a strong letter. So just know that we really try to also do a holistic review, thinking through your work experiences. It doesn't have to be necessary in public health. We embrace folks that have just different backgrounds and bringing into public health. We would love that, because that leads to just richer conversations in our synchronous sessions. So, jot down your work experience, all different kinds of work experience, your internships, your volunteer experience, and just like different things that you've done, because that really just enriches your application even more so. So I think, just like, we can tell when you've taken the time to focus on your application and when you have focused it and geared it towards Brown. And we can tell when you've done some research and looked through our program.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I just want to add that I saw some questions in the chat about public health experience being required. We don't require that you come from a public health background or public health or even clinical experience. In fact, one of our students who's doing really well in the program, she ran a hair salon for 20 years and she comes from this business experience. And I remember in her essay, she talked about how the pandemic made her think about community and think about health and how she wanted to transition into public health to help her community. So really, if you can tie your work experience, whatever field it may be, and we have people from tech, we have people in banking, finance, if you think about how you are impacting your community or how you'd like to impact your community through public health, that's really what we want to see in your application.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Well, we're at the top of the hour. Thanks everybody for your attendance today. Thanks so much to our panel for sharing their perspective. Thanks for all the questions. It made for a really lively discussion, both the questions that we answered live as well as ones that our team I know has been answering in the background. So just a reminder of those upcoming important dates. So for fall 2024, the final application deadline is June 15th. Remember that Kim mentioned if you apply for fall 2024 and are accepted, you're automatically given that Dean Scholarship for 20%. So that's a big incentive to want to apply. And then fall 2024 classes start on September 4th. If we weren't able to get to your question today, take a screenshot real quick of that our phone number, 888-584-5166. Send us an email, brownenrollmentretention@mph.online.brown.edu, as well as if you've already been in contact with Kim or Roseanne on the enrollment coach side, follow up with them. Make sure to reach out. Make sure that any of your particular specific situation questions are able to get answered there. So once again, thanks everybody for the privilege of your time. Thanks again to our panel, and wishing you a great rest of your day and week. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.